Welcome to Global Voices, the official podcast of the Center for Socially Engaged Theatre at the University of Regina.
Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Global Voices, the official podcast of the Center for Socially Engaged Theatre here at the University of Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. It's good to have Dr. Olusola John today. We're going to be chatting about an exciting, interesting area of research that we've been doing, quietly already, but we want to launch it. It's good to have you today, Dr. Olusola John.
Thank you, Dr. Taiwo. It's a pleasure being here at Canada at the center. And thank you for all the amazing works you've been doing. It's been out there, and I'll be glad to contribute my quarter.
Well, thanks. So I'm going to be putting Shola on a hot seat here, asking him a series of questions about this area of research that we're deeply committed to, not just only because we want to do research, but also because it's also part of our own lived experience and even professional experience and all of that. So I'd like to ask you, tell us, what is this research?
Thank you very much. One of the things I have realized is that there are quite a number of things we go through, or things we use, or things we experience that we don't take time to document about. In-flight entertainment, to put it in a layman's term, is the entertainment that is provided on board aircraft when you are going on a long journey. So you have like a TV in front of you. If you're in economy class, is on the seat that is ahead of you. And if you're in business class, you have a TV to yourself. Therein, there are a lot of contents that are provided, from comedy show to talk show to live television to movies and musicals. And also, in some airlines, especially local flight, you have magazines that are provided capturing arts, culture, and the combination of everything is what we call in-flight entertainment. Yes.
Right. So the area of this research that we've started working on is called in-flight entertainment, and we're going to speak more about it. Yeah. Interestingly, when your chapter came out of the book on recentering cultural performance in post-colonial Africa, that we launched that. I co-edited that book with two other scholars, and we launched that book early this year. There were really interesting responses that I got.
Sure.
One of them is, what does that even mean? It's like prior to your coming here, and I've had opportunity to mention you, talk about the work that you do, and I've had a lot of even academics saying, what does that mean? Do you even research that? And I'm like, yeah. So my question here is, why in-flight entertainment?
Like I said, it's easy to take a lot of things for granted. How did in-flight entertainment come about? What purpose does it serve? Why is it that if you fly any airline and your television is not working, they make a refund to you? Why do you say the journey is boring? Or why do you forget, if you have phobia for flying, why do you forget that you are 40,000 above sea level? Simply because you are watching some movies? These are questions research helps to answer. A lot of people who flies and they enjoy flight entertainment, they don't even know how it was invented. They don't even know what purpose it serves. A lot of people have had to buy products as a result of what they watch, and they're not aware. You see, because these are subtle. These are marketing strategies. These are things that are not shown to the public that this is the reason why they do what they do. So my research will be able to uncover. For instance, when it was actually invented, it was to encourage people to fly. People aren't flying. You just hang one object in the air, and who wants to die? So nobody was willing to fly. So they brought in some media events, bringing in live singers on board, performances on board. So people want to see what does it sound like to hear somebody, your favorite artist, performing in the air, and so they were generating interest. Of course, it has grown beyond that.
course.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I also know that you have over a decade of experience in aviation,
Sure.
and I would ask you to speak more about that.
Sure.
Part of the burning question for me here is, and I know I'm doing this research in collaboration with you,
Yeah.
and the research is at the intersection of aviation,
Yeah.
culture,
And entertainment.
and entertainment,
Sure.
and even media.
Sure.
And if you want to go further, we can even think about its implication on marketing,
Sure.
its implication on advertising.
Sure.
And so my question here, this is Center for Social Engaged Theater, and it seems that we're going out of our scope here.
Okay.
Why do you think it's important for us to take on this research at this point in time? What are the key objectives, and how do we, why is it important now?
It's important because, well, it's an interdisciplinary research.
That's true.
Like you've earlier mentioned. And even if we have to talk about films stem from theater, right? And like I said, the origin of in-flight entertainment actually had theatrical exhibitions, right? Yes, it has only grown to where it is now.
Okay.
So when we are talking about our objective, the main objective actually is to unveil the cultural impact, okay, the cultural production tool of in-flight entertainment. It's become a cultural production tool. It's become a cultural dissemination tool. So how has culture contributed, or entertainment contributed to aviation? Everything about innovation, technology is to serve humanity. I think it was one of the great guys that said, at the point where technology no longer serves humanity, there is a problem. Okay, so now we had a technological invention. We have a fast means of transportation, but we needed to keep people to enjoy it. We needed to make it comfortable for people. So the natural default is entertainment.
Interesting.
The natural default is entertainment, but as it is with other tools that over time are taken over by marketers, by business people, by influencers, it became something beyond entertainment. Now you have advertisers coming in, you have marketers coming in, you have business, you have investors coming in, taking the tool that should have been for entertainment. And it's understandable, because while you are being entertained, it's easy to sell. You let down your guard. The word amusement is that you don't think, just let down your guard so we can sell products to you. And that even informs the content you have on board, right? You don't have things that makes you agitated. Already you are agitated enough being in the aircraft. So I think that the center is also at the center. The Center for Socially Engaged Theater is also at the center of this research, because we need to let both the passengers and the airliners and the investors, we need to let them know how important the tools that they have is. What has it achieved over time? What is the potential of such? That is actually the crux of the research.
Interesting. Now, with tools like in-flight entertainment and ways to advertise, we know that it's not that people are not thinking. They are thinking, but that maybe not critically. When something comes in front of them, my goodness, I get this, and a lot of the time, research has shown that when it comes to advertisement, it's always it appeals to our emotion, right, and all that. I'm going to follow up on that question of why now. Now, we've situated or grouped this research within the sector research at CSET. Now, we have 5 different research clusters. The first one being theater, performance, broadly defined, and justice and policing. And with all of that, within that, we have policing, we have climate change, we have climate justice, and everything else, social justice and all that. We have theater and immigration. We're looking at nostalgia, extalgia, belonging, identity, and all of those things. The third cluster is around the creative and cultural industry, the creative economy. And then the fourth one is on art, health, and well-being.
Yeah.
And of course, the fifth one is around performance. And we're kind of moving that towards, thinking around African studies, performance broadly defined, ethics, and different things like that.
Yeah.
But I want to come back to the cluster where this research belongs to.
Yeah.
Why this kind of research in the middle of the prairies? Why? Because, and that's really critical, because we're in the middle of the prairies. Like I said, we're in Regina, and one would imagine, what kind of research is that? Why Regina? Why CSET? Why University of Regina?
Okay. Well, I'll start by saying, when you want to sell a product, you go to the market. When you want to plant a seed, you go to the farm. Ideas thrive on the soil that is fertile. And the Center for Socially Engaged Theatre has provided the soil for such a research as this. All right, you are doing something around creative economy. We know what creative economy is all about. It's the idea of making the arts profitable. I would like to appreciate the fact that the Canadian government and all the supporters you've had at the center provide funds for you to be able to put the center together as a Canadian research chair that you are. And so a lot of investment has been made into the center to be able to make it possible for a researcher to thrive with an idea. So that is number one. Number two, the fact that the Canadian government and the Saskatchewan government, I was at the SATP, Saskatchewan Association of Theatre Practitioners conference with you, the support that artists have garnered over the years and they continue to enjoy also makes it a very strategic place to conduct the research. Thirdly, your person, you are not only experienced in research in the arts, you also have a good knowledge as a participant in the aviation industry. So when you put all of these factors together, there is no better place to conduct this research but a Center for Socially Engaged Theatre, University of Regina. So, like I said, ideas will thrive where you have fertile soil for it to thrive.
It's good to hear that. That's comforting. That's great.
Yeah.
That it's a space where we could bring ideas and work around things.
Yeah.
This is interesting because it leads me to the next question. What are your hopes for this research as we get? I mean, we have so many things going, and of course we're going to be releasing them one after the other. We're going to come back to take a lot of sessions like this and just kind of share some of those ideas, some of the findings out of the research and all that to different communities and all of that. What are your hopes for this research?
First, which I've already started, I hope very soon some of the write-ups will be out there, is to make the public aware that in-flight entertainment has contributed in a viable way to cultural production and dissemination, right? Secondly, it continues to make the civil passengers interested in aviation very well. As subtle as that may look, they ask people why they fly, and out of the reasons they gave, number 5 is the quality of in-flight entertainment. First is flight safety, second flight schedule, third flight management, fourth I think it has something to do with price or something. Number 5 is upward services and the quality of in-flight. So it's at the top there. Top list. So we intend to let the public know more about this and appreciate it and be more conscious about it each time they fly. I remember having this conversation some years ago with a prof of blessed memory, Pius, at this summit. And as soon as he saw the topic, he told me consciously each time he flies, he picks the in-flight magazine because for once, he has seen more than just a magazine.
That's true.
He has seen a post-colonial expression of culture.
That's true.
You get the point. And so that's one of the things we're hoping to achieve. Secondly, we also intend to give visibilities to the arts. We're talking about making creative economy.
Mhm.
How can artists profit from their works?
Mhm.
In fact, entertainment is a viable means of distribution of their works. How? Yeah, you can get to ask us that later. It's part of the research. But it's although it's highly regulated, but at the same time, it's also serving the interest of the public.
Some are thriving in it.
Good. Number 3, representation.
I was going to come to that. Yeah.
Representation. How well are cultures represented? Which cultures are represented? Who determines what culture to be represented? The flying passengers, or the airline owners, or the vendors, or the investors. So at the end of the day, you see, we have quite a lot to handle. And of course, we have about a year or more to do this research. And so we will unpack them one after the other. And already, I must let you know this, that we've started seeing interest right from when the paper was published, like you said. A couple of mails I've received from other organizations and companies trying to see how we can work together. I will apologize if any of them is watching this, that I didn't reply a good number of them, because what we brought out was just a tip of the iceberg, and so there is a lot to chew, and so quite a lot to research into.
You have been listening to Global Voices, the official podcast of the Center for Socially Engaged Theatre at the University of Regina. For more details about the center, visit www.cset.ca.